Knox County commissioners will make their final decision today on the fate of the proposed $30 wheel tax increase.
Despite these statements, the University of Tennessee immediately suspended Adam until a hearing in February, a move that's unusual for the university.
This is the weekend to be out, whether it's for the big football game this weekend, the Rossini Festival, the Dogwood Arts Festival, the baseball game tonight. What else is there? The construction crews have moved out and the finishing touches are being placed now on the Market Square area. And you can see behind me the ribbon is still intact. The Gay Street Bridge may see more traffic over the next couple of months. It is official. The madness has kicked in. The holiday season has started. We were showing you the lines to get into the stores earlier in the show. Well, let me show you the line to get out of the store. Low carb is the craze, but new research finds that eating a high protein diet may make it more difficult for a woman to get pregnant. Many doctors' offices and health departments are swamped with people who are trying to get a flu shot now. All the plants sure did love the rain that we had last week. It was kind of a headache for everybody else, but the plants and the grass, it's amazing that my grass is probably 8 inches tall now. The trial of a Maryville woman accused of killing 2 law enforcement officers resumes today in Lebanon. Some East Tennessee soldiers have been eagerly anticipating the handover of power in Iraq. Specialist Kenneth Harrison is part of the 489th Civil Affairs Battalion. He's home on leave from serving in Iraq for 5 months. While he must return soon, he says he will go back knowing coalition forces are accomplishing their goals. And he adds, for Iraq citizens, this is the first step toward becoming a sovereign nation. Today is the first full day of sovereignty in Iraq since the U.S. invasion, but the handover has not stopped the violence. CBS's Terry Okita has the latest now from Baghdad. Knoxville authorities say a police chase that ended in a crash yesterday morning could have been a lot worse. Police say the chase started when an officer pulled over 18-year-old Mark Maples for running 2 stop signs, but he took off after the officer approached his car. The chase lasted about 10 minutes with speeds up to 60 miles an hour through the Lonsdale community until the suspect came to a dead end on McPherson Street. It's a street with 2 daycare centers within several hundred feet of the crash. Let's take a look at the top stories one more time now this morning. The couple that is accused of abusing a 3-year-old girl is expected to be arraigned in Campbell County today. Sheriff's deputies found baby Haley earlier this month covered in cigarette burns, her eyes and mouth swollen shut, and she'd been scalded with hot water. Haley's father, Tommy Owens, and his girlfriend, Charlotte Claiborne, are both facing charges. Because of the prevalence of the flu in the area and the fact that it's here earlier than expected, many doctors' offices and health departments are swamped with people who are trying to get a flu shot now. And here at the Knox County Health Department, in fact, the wait is about 1 to 2 hours to get a flu shot. Extra nurses have been called in to deal with the large crowd, but the demand for a flu shot is very high right now. It is so high, in fact, that the health department here in Knox County may temporarily run out of the flu vaccine in the next day or 2. Now, it is expecting another 1,000 vaccines to come in from California by Wednesday, but if the type of demand that the health department is seeing now continues, they may run out until the new shipment comes in. After that, Dr. Stephanie Hall from the health department says they will keep buying the vaccine until there is not any left on a national level. And if you are planning on coming down to the Knox County Health Department to get a flu shot, you may, at least for the next few days, want to call before you come down, just because the demand is so high right now and there's a limited number of vaccines available. But by Wednesday, everything should be fine. But until then, call before you come down. Also, arrive early, because the later in the day you get, the longer the wait will be. Bob?
How many adults do you think will be happy with that meal?
See, I was going to say, what are you going to get? The number 2 with the extra big fries and the big Diet Coke? Or are you going to get the one with the water and the salad and the advice to walk more? I can get that from my mom. I don't need that from the restaurant. Good Charlotte is the music this morning to get you up and moving on what's going to be an absolutely wonderful day and a good night to get out and go see the Sundown in the City concert. It's going to be great. It's going to be one of the largest crowds because of the person who is taking the stage, Steve Winwood. I think that spring is so hard to deal with because you're cold at night, you're all, jacketed up and still have the blankets on your bed, but then in the middle of the afternoon you're sweating with the air conditioner on.
Makes wardrobe selection real tough this time of the year, doesn't it?
Well, Alabama this morning as we point that volunteer view camera toward the Henley Street Bridge, which, by the way, is still being worked on. And the Gay Street Bridge is open. I used it last Thursday night to get into that Chapman Highway area. There's nobody on the Gay Street Bridge.
Absolutely.
It was just like smooth sailing, and we looked over at the people on the Henley Street Bridge and just kind of waved.
Yeah.
It was January 20th when this terrible scene took place. The home away from home assisted living facility, which housed 15 elderly people, was destroyed by fire. 5 people died and at least 4 were injured, including Jenny Goodman, an Alzheimer's patient.
Her lungs were scarred for life.
Jay Goodman is Jenny's son. He says his 79-year-old mother, a self-taught librarian, now lays in a bed as she recovers from carbon monoxide poisoning, cyanide poisoning, and skin grafts on 20% of her body, among other problems. What's worse, the administrator from Home Away from Home told Jenny's family that liability insurance to cover her $250,000 medical bill does not exist.
We were told that they had no liability insurance whatsoever and no financial responsibility whatsoever.
Alan Wright, who lost his mother, Molly, in the fire, was told the same thing.
The administrator said they didn't have it.
As it turns out, assisted living facilities like Home Away from Home do not have to have liability insurance to operate in the state of Tennessee. In fact, only 3 states, Florida, Nevada, and Colorado, require liability insurance for assisted living centers and nursing facilities.
If they don't have that kind of safeguard, that's shocking.
David Boyd is the attorney representing the families for Jenny Goodman and Molly Wright, who are planning to file a lawsuit for damages to cover medical bills and the loss of life.
But the point that those who we represent are trying to make is, even though you don't have to have it, shouldn't you have it?
This is not the first time the owners of Home Away from Home have dealt with legal action. Lynn Costner and her partners operated Home Away from Home in Holly Hills, Florida. While there, 3 people filed suit against the facility, citing abuse and neglect. 2 cases were settled out of court, but in the 3rd, Home Away from Home was ordered to pay over $150,000 for abuse and neglect of an elderly person and also theft of a diamond ring.
I left 5 messages with the owners of the Home Away from Home facility to contact me about the liability insurance issue as well as the lawsuits in Florida. They didn't return any of my phone calls, and their attorney says he can't comment on any of the issues.
As for the families, since there is no liability insurance, chances are Alan Wright will never get any money to cover the loss of Molly, his mother. And Jay Goodman will likely never get any money for medical expenses for his mother, Jenny.
We probably won't get anything because there's nothing to get.
They're just hoping that their story will get the attention of lawmakers and families so everyone will know to ask more questions. That way, if tragedy strikes again, everyone will be protected. Nancy-Lynne Walters, WVLT Volunteer TV News.